In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make your very own custom player animations like this in UEFN. This is a part 2 to my animation tutorial, so please check out the first one to understand more in depth of what I do in this video. But anyways, without further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, now here we are back in our old animation tutorial project. And if you remember from my last episode, we did a lot of things with animation. This time around, we're going to get player animations. Now, the simple thing you need to know is that we're going to need one device, okay? Go into Fortnite and search up chair device. We need this, the chair device. Now, you're probably wondering, why a chair for an animation? Well, the thing is that the chair device has an unreleased feature for a default animation, which then we can then use to change the animation of the player while they're seated in the chair. So we can use this to play our own animations. So let's start off with just doing the settings first. I'm going to make the chair invisible. Interact time, you can turn this on or off. I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to turn off player exit. And then I'm going to place it audio. Nope, that should be good. Okay, now with the chair, okay. The fundamental thing you need to know is this. Every single device or every single thing you copy inside UEFN, you're copying a bunch of text, alright? So for example, with this cube, if I copy this cube, but if I do this, copy and then paste, I'm actually copying the text of this cube and pasting it over here. If you want to see this text, you want to go into Notepad and then you just want to do Control V, and now you look at this. This is the text that we're copying to use the cube. Okay, now using this, what we can do is you can copy this chair device. Okay, so what you do is right click it and go to edit and copy, or do Control C and then go into our Notepad and then we're going to Control V. Now we've pasted in everything about the chair device inside of this little notepad. So now what we need to do, okay, we need to go down to the very bottom, and these are like all the settings you can change. So what we need to do is we just add in a new one. Let's do this. Make sure it's on the right. Is it called again? Column? I don't remember. So what we need to type in here is very simple. Default animation. That should be good. And the next step is we need to do it. We do an equal sign, but then we got to make 2 quotation marks. And now I'm going to go back into UEFN. We go into content drawer. Now to actually get animations inside of here, we need to copy the reference of the animation. So in your content drawer, you got to right click it. You want to go up here to copy reference and you want to click that. So now we have the reference of this animation, or any animation you want to use. Also make sure it's the FN mannequin, because I think this guy doesn't work. I think it needs to be FN mannequin to work with Fortnite guys. So make sure last video you retarget everything and make the animations for the FN mannequin if you want to use it for player animations. So we're going to right click them, I'm going to copy reference, and then we're going to go back into here and default animation. Inside of here, we want to do Control V, and that's going to paste in the reference of the animation into the default animation. So I make this a little bit bigger. You know, see now it's not all in here, which is what we want. If we do Control A, that will select every single thing in here. Like look, it's always selected. And then we go to Control C to copy it, and then go back to UEFN, right click and do edit, and then paste here. And now we have our custom chair with our custom animation inside of it. Now, if you look in the settings, you're not going to see the animation inside of here, but it's there, right? Trust me, it's in there. So you might want to label this chair like chair running animation, just to know. And then when I'm just going to delete this old chair, and then we're going to put this new chair here. Now, just to make it work, I'm going to grab a trigger, and I'm going to make it so the player will get seated when the trigger is untriggered. Inside the chair device, I'm going to do seat player when trigger is untriggered. So now the player, once they go on this trigger, they'll get to in the chair device, and they should hopefully do the running animation. So now if we go and launch the session, this should work, hopefully. Now make sure there's no errors inside of your notepad. So make sure there's like a little comma there, and then a little then you got the open and close brackets. You need that little comma, otherwise it's gonna have a little validation error. I was like, why is it getting an error? Well, like I had one tiny little comma that wasn't there. So now hopefully this option will become an actual feature that Epic Games is gonna add in. You can change this normally instead of having to go to Notepad and everything. But right now this is early. It's not even released yet, so there's going to be some issues, so just keep that in mind. Okay, now here we are in game. Now if I click this trigger, you're gonna run this. Oh my god, would you look at this? I'm now doing the running animation that guy over there is doing, but it's me. It's my player who's doing it, which is very nice. So this is basically how you would make player animations. Now I'm going to do this in a sequence. So over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a new sequence, same way we did last video, and now I'm going to add this to here. Then I'm going to add a transform. Now the thing about this chair is that we can either move the chair to the player running, or we can do an animation that has the player moving inside the animation, and then make the chair just static in one place. And the chair is just where the player starts the animation. But for this, I'm going to move the chair around. So we can move the chair like this, which we'll move the chair in a little like straight line. I'm going to add a cinematic sequence device. I'm going to put our thing in here, which is this. I'll put on loop playboxer, and then I'm going to put on finish force restore state on the last one. Now this will make the player run. I'm gonna also make these linear keys by holding on to them and doing this. There we go. Now they're linear, so I'll move in, smoothly. Don't know why there's keys here, to be honest. There we go. So now the player will run like this in some cutscene. I'm gonna add in like I'm gonna add a little camera. Do this. I'm going to make it so it's like this. I'll make it so the player is running away from an explosion. So that's gonna be funny. Okay, now this will follow the player as they're running along. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add in a little explosion effect. So we're going to go into Contour. We're going to search up gas explosion as this is the default Niagara effect. That's going to make a little explosion for us. We're going to bring it out. And now when this plays, it's going to do a little explosion. We're going to add this to the sequence. We're going to plus. We're going to do Niagara component. Now if we go into a Niagara opponent, we're going to do FX system toggle track. And then we're going to do trigger. And we're going to add a key. And we're going to trigger at a certain point. So the player is far enough away that it's going to blow up and not going to kill them. If they run away, it's going to blow up maybe a bit sooner. So now in the sequence, the player will run, and there'll be an explosion behind them, and they'll run further. And then I'm also going to add a little sound effect that's going to be for here. That is going to be a little explosion. Sure that works. What is that? And it goes, whoa, no. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make the sequence play when the trigger is on triggered, which will hopefully do it. That should make it so when the player walks with this trigger, they'll get to see it in the chair, while also the animation will also play at the same time. So now they'll run for their lives until, so the animation should play perfectly. Now, one downside to this, with the moving the chair, you can't see the animations, so you can't really time it pretty well with what you want. So I'm going to show you a different method later. So here I am in game. I'm going to start the game. Now, when I click on this trigger, it's going to make a sick animation where I'm running. No way. That was crazy. Now it's going to replay. That's really cool. Okay, now this second method is if you want it to have multiple animations. So you want the player to maybe do like a crazy jump when it blows up or something. So let's do that next. Now I'm on MIXAMO and I'm going to use this little animation where the player falls down. I'm going to do what we did last time, and I'm going to import this into UEFN. I'm going to download it as an FPX. I'm going to go into with the skin 30, and then that should be good. Okay, I'm just going to import what we made. I'm going to add the skeleton as the where is he? This guy, the MIXAMO animation, the skeleton. We're going to import all. Okay, now here's our dying animation. So what we need to do next is, as you know, we need to go to IK retargeter, and we're going to find the thing we did last episode, which is this, and then we're going to go into here. We're going to go down to asset browser, and we're going to find our dying one. We're going to export it. This is going to be our dying one for EFN mannequin. We're going to export it. Now it's going to be in here for FN mannequin. So now we have the animation for FN mannequin. So now in here, what we need to do is we're gonna get rid of the chair device inside of here. Okay, just bear with me for a second. All right, I'm actually gonna do this. Now then, what we need to do is we're gonna find our FN mannequin, and we're gonna do it like the last video. So we're gonna grab a new FN mannequin. We're gonna place them right here. Now make sure wherever you place your mannequin is exactly where you place your chair, otherwise this won't work. And now if we go into here, we're gonna add him into here. We're gonna grab the animation for run, which is the running right here. He's gonna run like this. It's gonna blow up, and then he's gonna transition into dying animation where he like falls over. So now he's gonna run, and he's gonna fall over. Try to perfect this. Sure, that works. So now John's gonna run, and then he's gonna get blown up by the thing. So now we gotta use what we learned last episode to make this work. So next up, we need to go to device mannequin, and we're gonna bake this all to control rig. Okay. So basically, what we need to do is we need to combine these two animations into one animation that we can then use in the chair device. We do FX control rig. We're just going to do this. We might reduce keys. We're gonna bake this to control rig. I'm gonna delete all this, and then we're gonna go to sequencer again. So now we're in control rig. This is like last time. And now we need to go to the very bottom, okay? And we need to find a root. Now this root is very important because this is how we're gonna move the character with the animation. Because we can't use transform because we have to use the control rig. When it blows up, you probably want to be about here, and then then he's gonna fall over and he's gonna land on the ground. He's moving because he has another key at the end. We're gonna delete that. So he's gonna fall, fly forward like that, and then he's gonna land there and he's gonna stay there like that. So he's gonna run, and he's gonna get blown up, and he's gonna fall down. So now with this, with this control rig now ready, we do the exact opposite thing we just did, and we go in here. We're gonna bake animation sequence. This is gonna be our explosion cutscene, and this is the entire sequence that's gonna be for a thing. And we're gonna put it in here. Okay, we're going to export the animation set. that. And now we have created a new animation, just like last time. So now we have the explosion cutscene, which is the full thing we just made, like this full entire like thing with two animations blending into each other. So now the next step, okay, we're going to now delete the device mannequin out of the sequencer. If you still have the notepad with the chair device in it, we're going to use this. But if you don't, make a new chair device, copy it, and then put it in notepad. Now what we're going to do the same thing. We're going to get the explosion cutscene. We're going to copy it. We're going to copy the reference. Then we're going to go into notepad. We're going to add in the reference here. That should be good. Then we're going to Control A, Control C. Then we're going to Control V. Here it is. This is now pasted in the chair device. We're going to place the chair device perfectly where this guy is. And then we're going to seat the player when this trigger is triggered. And now, if everything works well, this is going to play the animation now for the cutscene. So now if we push our changes, so now we basically made an entire cutscene the player will be able to animate inside of. We had to do the control rig because we can't use two animations inside one chair device. So we need to make one big animation that's all the things combined. To do that, we need to convert the control rig. And if we wanted to actually move in the sequence, we just use the root inside the control rig of the skeletal mesh to be able to move the guy around, because we can't use transform inside of the thing because you know, it's the animation we need to use. So hopefully that all makes sense for you. Okay, so now here we are in game. I'm going to start the game. If I now click on this trigger, you're going to see the crazy animation. So it's going to run. It's gonna fall over. Yeah, that's how you make a player animation. Wow, isn't that sick? This was just part 2 to my animation tutorial. A lot of you were asking for player animations, so I didn't have enough time to cover in the last video, so I did it in this video. So yeah, there you go. So here's player animations. So I hope you like, subscribe, use my code in the Fortnite shop, and watch all these videos for more of my content. That's about it. I'll see you all around.